Football can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch it, it becomes nothing.
Johnston. And a goal by Johnston. That makes it 2 by him.
We were magnificent. Magnificent.
Larson. Oh, he's in. Henrik Larsson. That is sensational. Nakamura.
The game is over. The Rebels have won.
He's done it! Govan's put it in, and without a doubt, the European Cup is on its way.
We'll never stop. We'll stop at half time, and we'll stop at the end of the game when we celebrate.
Yes! Come on!
Champions! It's official. It's official. Aye, so it's official. We're now champions. Yes. Fucking hell, man. Got there at the end. Shite game, but we won. Paddy, describe the feeling, mate.
Mate, as you say, a fucking turgid first half. We thought we were on to a winner when Jackie Mackis scored. Dundee United hit his back with a cracking equaliser. But do you know what? End of the night, doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck? We are the champions. Title's back where it belongs. Coming back home to Paradise tonight because we are the champions.
Yes, mate. Yes. That's it.
And by the way, can I just say, it's the 52nd league title for Celtic.
52nd. 52nd. Not bad.
Unbroken 52nd.
Yes. Yeah, I've got to be honest, my fucking volume is appalling. I can barely hear you guys. I'm sorry. To the viewers though, fucking geez your comments for the night. Awesome. Dundee United against Celtic, one each, and we've won. We started with a kind of an under-strength team, giving players a bit of a rest. Dale, what did you make of the lineup? Because we had like Hart, Taylor, Starfelt, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Ralston, O'Reilly, Kalmack and Hatate. And then up front we had Forrest, Jackie Mackis and Abada. What did you make of the lineup, mate?
I thought there would have been some changes, to be honest with you, Gav. I was quite surprised to see Forrest coming in, but I think probably just because of the way Ange is as a person, that he's kind of threw Jamesy in just because of how good a servant he's been for Celtic. It's a wee bit of loyalty just to say, on you go, son, and enjoy it, because it could well be the last time we see Jamesy. We don't know, but I was a wee bit surprised, but I thought there would have been a couple of changes, so not overly surprised, and it just shows you the strength and depth that we've got going into next season.
Aye, mate. Aye. It could well be Forrest's last game for Celtic, but one of the man, Ange Postecoglou, we got a comment there about him. He's now a legend. Paddy, would you agree with that? He's now etched himself into Celtic folklore, an historical season.
Well, I mean, he's certainly written himself into the history books at Celtic. I don't think legend status is even close yet, mate. But certainly, he's in the history now. It's his first season. He's won the title. He's followed in the footsteps of guys like Wim Jansen, Martin O'Neill, Gordon Strachan, Brendan Rodgers, and winning the title in the first season. So just a remarkable achievement, mate, all round. I don't care how we done it. I don't care what any detractors say. We won that fair and square. We done it at times with absolute beauty, grace, fantastic football, mate. And what I'm hoping is that that's just a glimpse into the future, because as we spoke about many times, Gav, what we've been told is that we don't see the best of Big Ange's teams until the second season. So, first season's out the road. We've won a cup. We've won the league. Automatic qualification into the group stages of the Champions League. So, a fantastic achievement, mate. He's done so well. He's done everybody proud at the club. He's brought everybody together. He's galvanised a team. He's moulded a team from a jobby into a diamond. You know, it's just a magnificent job. A magnificent job, mate. So, all credit to the big man. Fantastic. So delighted for him. and delighted for everybody, fans, players, everybody.
And it was back in 2008 that we last clinched the title back at Tannadice. Dale, do you remember where you were watching that game? I think it was Jan Vinegar of Hesselink who got the winner.
I was there.
Were you, aye?
Yes, it was the season that the legend as Tommy Burns passed away. I'm sure Big Jan scored 89th minute, 90th minute. Can't remember. Very, 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 very late on. I was actually just speaking to the missus about it before the game, saying that I was with my ex missus at the time, and I went to the bookies before the game and won a horse. I don't generally bet, to be honest with you, but the money I bet on the horse, I bet on Celtic that night and won a few quid, and I never went home for 3 days. So hence why I'm divorced and now with my lovely fiancée Marie. So it's worked out all right. So thanks very much to the longest name in football, Big Jan, that I'm with Marie and my son, and away for the fucking dauber that I used to be with. So you have to it's like Big Ange and the rest of the.
I tell you what, Dale, just as well you won a couple of quid on the horses, mate, because you would needed a fucking a good old fucking coupon to come up to get Jan Venegar's full name on the back of your tap, like.
Aye, mate. I think I remember back then it was like the tap was 40 quid, and to get Big Jan's name on it was fucking £275. So
I might be able to put it on like that, like fucking horseshoe.
Aye. So all good, man. I was there that night. I would have loved to have been there the night. I'd put a couple of things on Twitter earlier before I get banned. Paddy, in fact, there's a wee favour. Obviously, I had a Twitter page space for tonight, and as soon as the final whistle went, I got a message from Twitter saying I was banned. So obviously, somebody's been waiting in the wings just to send something. So as soon as the final whistle went, I get banned off of Twitter. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to join you guys on for a wee chat, but I don't know what's happened, man.
I hope Elon Musk sorts you out whenever he takes over Twitter. Surely he has to. If he's going to let people let Donald Trump back on, then surely he'll have to let you on.
Gutted, mate, man. Really, really gutted. I've kind of took a wee step back for the podcasts and stuff, and I've been kind of hammering the Twitter spaces, and it's been going reasonably well. But full-time whistle, went to jump on my space, bang, your Twitter account is suspended. So shit happens. I'm here looking at you two lovely feeding bastards, so I'm quite happy.
That I am.
Yes. A lot of happy comments, man. A lot of happy comments. It's brilliant to see. Dale, Paddy, like, we've been doing podcasts, and Dale, obviously, you've been doing the Celtic supporters podcast longer than the Jungle Gyms. And whenever we started off at the start of this season, like I keep saying that, like put it into context, like the win. But even us as fans at the start of this season, as people who run podcasts, what it was like trying to be positive after the negativity of last season, and the feeling right now, if you can bottle this feeling and keep it, it's I wouldn't go as far as euphoria, but it's just fucking brilliant, man. This is part of being a football fan, you know, the highs and lows, and this is one of the highs that we need to enjoy, because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Obviously, we fucking hope the next season is going to be brilliant, just as much as this, even better. But these nights, these moments, you need to treasure it, man.
Yes, a 1,000%, mate. And a very, very wise man once said to me, who runs a very successful supporters club for Motherwell that's been running for over 30 years, and he's got a lot of the young team on the bus now that are maybe between 12 and 20-year-old that were there during the dark times, and Paddy will know as well. He's not quite as old as me, but I've been going to the games for the 80s. So he always tells the young team, just savour these kind of nights. Just take it all in, soak it all in like a sponge. Really, really, really enjoy it, because there's always a bad season around the corner, as was last year, losing the 10. So I would just say to all Celtic fans and all the Jungle Gyms listeners, just enjoy your night. Just love it. I appreciate what Ange has done. Go to the game on Saturday against Motherwell and just have a fucking brilliant day. I know for a fact that in the back of every Celtic fan's mind is what's going to happen next week, but let's not talk about it. But savour it, enjoy it. We've won 10 league titles in the last 11 years, a quadruple treble. What I've just done in the last 10 months has been nothing short of a fucking miracle. So enjoy it, embrace it, support the Celtic, have a fucking brilliant night, whatever you're doing, and God bless Glasgow Celtic, God bless Ange, Calmac, every single Celtic fan all over the world, whoever's listening, and fucking hell, man, I got a wee bit. I was going to start greeting there. I'll let you crack on, man. I'm a wee bit emotional, man, to be honest with you.
It is an emotional night. Paddy, where would you rank this title win compared to the previous ones that we've enjoyed in our lifetime?
I don't really want to try and compare it to any others, mate, because like I think it should be looked at on its own how kind of significant this season was, especially after the debacle that was last season, and just how kind of monumental this season was in terms of our rebuild, our restructuring, regrouping, coming back as the major force in Scottish football after being knocked off our pedestal. Well, whether we knocked ourselves off or another team did, that's up for debate, but I would say that we absolutely lost our balance. And especially when you looked at how the season started or just before it started, the Eddie Howe debacle, how long it took us to get something into place, the kind of the cock teasing that fucking Eddie Howe done, and then for it all to fall apart, big Ange to step in kind of last minute as the new manager, the whole furore over an unknown quantity, and for this guy to come in, I mean, I was like for his first game, the Celtic manager, which was the pre-season against Sheffield Wednesday, you know, Albion Ajeti scoring the first goal. From then until now, it's been exactly as Big Ange told us it would be. He says it's going to be a roller coaster. He says it's going to be like an arm wrestle. It's going to be back and forward. And at times, at the start of the season, you were pulling your hair out. We were losing big games in Europe. We were looking good at some points, and then absolutely shit in the next. There could have been a stage where a case could have been made to say, listen, this might not be the right guy. But then the Aberdeen result comes in, and we managed to sneak a massive, massive vital win up Postecoglou. And I think for me, that moment changed the game, because other than the result against Rangers at Ibrox a few games down the line, we went on a massive winning kind of run. But it was that point, Gav, that we started to get a cohesion as a team, and players were buying into Ange's philosophy, and they were starting to play the way that he wanted them to play. And it's all started to then culminate into this big winning juggernaut that's took us from 6th in the league to league winners. Champions, mate. From 6th in the league to champions. It says it all. The guy has just done the fucking most incredible job, and I couldn't be happier. I seen him at the end of the game, mate. He almost had a fucking tear in his eye, and so did I, mate. I love it. I fucking love it when Celtic win. We've got our title back. Fucking Rooney's, yes!
Aye. As you said, it's been a season of highs and lows, more so domestically. In our opening 6 games, we'd lost 3, and that was 3 away from home. And at that point, we not only had doubters within our own ranks as Celtic fans, but we had doubters within the media, and how that's changed if you kind of compare and contrast. So as I said, opening 6 games, we'd lost 3 away, but then we went on a run. I think it's now, correct me if I'm wrong, 31 games.
Yes, I believe so.
Sorry, say again?
I think you're right, mate. There or thereabouts.
31 games, 25 wins and 6 draws.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, see, tonight, if we won tonight, that would have been our 14th win on the road domestically, and that would have equalled the Invincible season. So that kind of goes to show how close we are in terms of our consistency away from home.
And do you remember at this kind of quarter way through the season, Gav, we hadn't won a game since February, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You know, and we ended up with the song, "This is the day that we win away." So for a team to come into the season, begin the season and get to a certain point within the season where you still hadn't won an away game, to go for there and to be with you are the new, mate, it's phenomenal. It's fucking incredible. It really is. And who really can say anything negative about Big Ange about that? Of course, you can pick it. You can have wee snippets here and there where you think you could have done this, you could have done better. But this is a debut season from a guy who has came from fucking Japan, and I know that's not me having a go at Japan, but the guy's first foray into European football, and he's done it with a win. He's come in with a bang, mate.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Going back as far as you want to get back, even talking about Martin O'Neill, and I would speak about them in the same breath as kind of Jock Stevens stuff, but this league title after what happened last year is going to be spoke about as one of the best league title wins, if not the best league title win in our history. After what happened last year with Lennon, with Eddie Howe, with everything that happened, with such a fucking massive turnaround in the squad, 15, 16 players coming in, guys getting out on loan, Ange coming from Japan with absolutely no backroom staff whatsoever, just blending in and being so comfortable with Stevie Woods and Big McManus and John Kennedy and Strachan's laptop and just blending in, man, just coming, doing what he's done. As Gav said earlier at the start of the season, 3 wins out of 6, and any Celtic fan that wasn't sceptical, then they're telling lies, because I think we all were. We definitely all were sceptical, and we didn't know who he was. Well, I certainly never. We were getting to games with the likes of Dane Murray and all these young boys playing, and I think, as Paddy spoke about earlier, regarding the Aberdeen game, the last minute win, the Ross County Tory Ralston goal was just as big. It's so hard to absorb that we're league champions. That looking back to just pre-Christmas and going, fuck me, man, what is happening? What is happening here, man? And it's just good to have a wee look back and look at all what they were saying, and Ange will be sacked for Halloween and Ange will be sacked for Christmas, and who's this guy and who are all these Japanese guys and blah blah blah. It's just I feel as if I'm, even though I'm used to fucking legends, I feel I'm ready to bust out an Easter egg and run about New Mains with a tricolour and chat cunts doors and just fucking chuck green smoke bombs in their house. And honest to God, man, there's a guy just like there with a big massive Union Jack, and even though my missus wouldn't be happy, I'd seriously consider running there, rip it down, fuck my green pyro through his letterbox, and just doing a weekend at the Monday, man. I'd be alright with it. I don't know if she would, but I'd be alright with it.
Mate, if you can't take, give me a shout. I'm only down the road. I'll go up in 10 minutes.
Aye, mate. Aye.
I'll put a big fucking jobby through his letterbox.
Paddy,
sorry, Gav.
So Postecoglou, he's won the Manager of the Year award. He's also won the Writers Manager of the Year award as well. And talking about how he was viewed at the start of the season and where he is now with the plaudits, how would you summarise the kind of the U-turn that the Scottish media have done with this guy who was an unknown, an outsider? There was a lot of I don't know if the word bias. There was a lot of ridicule directed at him. And so, how would you summarise the kind of the media turnaround towards the changing attitude of Postecoglou?
Can I answer that a wee bit, Paddy? Just for a wee 10 seconds. The only answer I would give to Gav was, look, obviously us doing podcasts and speaking on a weekly basis regarding match analysis and all that, I think obviously the media stuff is, as a Celtic fan, when you see like Hugh Keevins and fucking whoever else it may be slagging Ange, I think at the start we were all sceptical as well. And doing podcasts, you obviously speak on a week to week basis and a game to game basis, and I think it's the same as players that us. I obviously absolutely slaughtered Greg Taylor, and I was very, very harsh on Starfelt, and I think it's the same sort of conversation, Gav, that we as guys that come onto YouTube and fucking Facebook and all that on a weekly basis see it as we see it as it happens. I think if you go back 9 months and say, you said this about that guy, but look what he's doing now. Right, okay, so we've not got a time portal. We can't look through a fucking magic ball and say this is going to happen in 9 months' time. So I can understand people getting slaughtered and folks saying, you said this at that time and you said this at that time. But us three included in the wider Celtic family and fans, we speak as we see it on a weekly basis. We don't go on and say he was a useless cunt, he was this, he was that, he was this, and he's fucking shite. If we never spoke the truth and spoke what we seen as it happened, then we wouldn't be here talking. So I can see fucking going back and saying you said this about the guy, but at the time we were all probably thinking the same fucking thing. So I don't know. It's a hard one to kind of speak about, because I don't know if I explained it well, but you know where I'm coming from.
That's a good point. You're being diplomatic about it. I think you're right in what you say. I think one of the kind of things, the feeling I had behind the question was the glee that some of the media had behind writing him off and saying Celtic, we were a PR disaster last season, and it could only get better. But I felt that some quarters in the media were quite happy at our supposed continued downfall after bringing in Postecoglou, and it wasn't a bright start. It wasn't a quick start. I think some people in the media were happy to write us off at that point. So I'm just happy that they've had to a certain extent eat their words. Obviously, you're right, and they need to call it as they see it back then. But I think there was a bit of attitude as well behind their words and behind their headlines, which I'm glad that we've now seen a U-turn on. Paddy, anything to add on that?
There was, mate, and like as Dale says, we probably all had a kind of a bite or a nibble at Postecoglou at the start, because that's what we do. We speak at the time. But as we all know, the Scottish media are, no everybody, I'm not saying every single person, but by and large, in my opinion, they're a cesspit of wankers. And what they'll do is they will, well, just look at the fucking the pandering that they did to Gerrard. You would have thought that guy's fucking shites were made of fucking golden nuggets. You know what I mean? Everything was this, golden boy that. And then what happens? A 55-year-old guy from Yokohama Marinos gets appointed, and they're on it like a bitch on heat. The one that always pops back to me is at the start when they were doing the predictions on the likes of Clyde One, whatnot. It was Mr. Keevins on 2 points. First point was him saying that it was going to be the team for Irish were going to be number one. Hearts, I think it was Hearts would finish second, or Aberdeen maybe, and he actually pegged us at third, and to finish third in the league. And then a bit later on, when there was that wee kind of downturn in play and points, there was a big massive headline: Ange, ENGE, absolutely not good enough. No. So in that respect, I understand exactly what you're saying, Dale. It's easy enough to jump back and say, "Oh, you say this and say that," But in respect to this, I think absolutely, Gav, you were 100% right to bring it up and turn around and throw it back in these bastards' face, because they are just so happy and so quickly and so ready, willing to put us down into the ground. Cunts like Chris Boyd, fucking Alec Ray, every single lick-spittle piece of shit in the media. And every single week, Gav, every single week without doubt, you've had clowns asking the most ridiculous, fucking manipulative, fucking smarmy, cheeky questions to Postecoglou in media sessions. And every single time, mate, he's giving them an absolute backhander, but in the most respectful way. You know, it's like fucking thinging a crumb off his jersey. They're not even in the same fucking universe as Big Ange. He's so easy, mate. He just says, what are you talking about, mate? Like this. There's no fire. There's no animosity, no snarling. It's just easy. Away you go. We're fucking doing what we're doing. We only concentrate on us. We never stop. And guess what? We never stopped. We never stopped, mate. And we fucking won that league. As Maeda said tonight, this is a big family. And we've spoke about it, Gav. We've seen the players become unified. We've seen players come up to the season, up to Celtic this season and find a home. Guys like Joe Hart, guys who were absolutely slaughtered everywhere. They've come in, they've found a home. You see them, they're playing with a smile on their face. They're playing with love in their heart. We Maeda said after the game tonight, he was asked a question. He says, where do you get your energy from? And he says, my wife and my daughter. That tells you everything that you need to know. These guys are all in it for each other. You see Big Ange pumping his chest. Do you know what I mean? He gets his supporters and the supporters get him. I fucking love Big Ange and I love Celtic. Aye,
that's where I agree with you, Paddy, where you kind of disagreed with me a wee tiny bit there. As we speak on a week-to-week basis regarding it, these guys are portraying Ange back then like 6 and 7 months ahead. We've just spoke on a weekly basis regarding the results, the performances, and the first game at Tynecastle, you like blah blah blah. But aye, the likes of fucking Hugh Keevans, Chris Boyd, and all these guys that wrote us off at the start of the season, 100%, mate. We try to speak on a weekly basis and be objective and talk about the performances and all that. But aye, Hugh Keevans, Super Scoreboard, Sky Sports, Chris Boyd, anybody else that wrote us off, wrote Ange off, wrote anybody else off, get it right, fuck it up. He's Glasgow Celtic champions. Suck my fat man, you fucking hun bastards. Apologies.
Yes! No apologies required. No apologies required, mate.
I tend not to kind of go into that kind of hangy, but man, fuck them all, man. I'm so happy and angry at the same time, man. I'm still angry I've been banned off Twitter. Fucking on bastard.
Dale, I do actually have a question for you, but just to kind of touch on what Paddy was saying about Ange with the media. The guy is a complete natural. You get some people who need media training to actually interact with the press, but Ange is a complete natural. And some of the questions that get posed to him, the way that he keeps his cool, that he doesn't even look close to giving an emotional response to him, I think it's something that should be admired. And not everyone possesses that quality. But Dale, the question I wanted to ask you was, we had a comment from Woodsy earlier on, and it was about at the start of the season, how Postecoglou was being doubted. As we said, the opening 6 games, but lost 3 on the trot away from home. Yeah. And Woodsy said in his comment that Ange showed character, not to panic. So I was going to ask you, would that be a requirement for every Celtic manager and for any Celtic manager that they always stick by their philosophy, even when it's not working? Would you have expected them to change it at that point? Because as fans, some of us were panicking. We were seeing the inverted fullback system was kind of new to Scottish football. It wasn't working. It was getting ridiculed. So do you think that's testimony to Ange's character that he's stuck by that?
100%, mate. I think Ange Postecoglou, speaking in the same kind of tone as Martin Neil, Gordon Strachan, Neil Lennon, I think Ange Postecoglou is a totally separate entity every other manager that we've seen in our lifetime. Just for the simple fact that the way he comes across, his background, just the way he's come in and took the club so much to his heart. The guy's knowledge of Celtic and Scottish football and the club's history is phenomenal. I don't think that's been a facade that he came into Celtic Football Club and thought, I need to look up the history. When we were in pre-season last year in Wales playing Bristol City and teams like that, with the young guys playing that we kind of never knew about, I kind of believed in Ange right away. I like to cut his jib. I like the way he came across to the media. It's a manager going back to Martin O'Neill that even though Brendan Rodgers, and I know it's a moot point for other fans, obviously, in the way he left, Ange Postecoglou is the first manager that's came in, got to Christmas, and you're a wee bit worried that I've just always thought that this guy gets us, this guy gets the media, this guy gets the club, this guy gets the fucking history, this guy gets everything about Celtic Football Club. He's speaking about Brother Walfred, he's speaking about where he came from, where his background's from, and I kind of got him. I was a wee bit sceptical result-wise, but I just I love the guy. I don't like his jumpers. They're fucking shiters. But I think he goes to the same shop as Paddy, man, to get his pre-map jumper or a gilet. Paddy's a terrible gilet on Friday, but I've just
shut up, you baldy bastard.
I've just bought in for him for day one, Gav. Obviously, as you said, we've always kind of questioned, and if you look back at any of our podcasts, we've always questioned the inverted fullbacks, and is he going to do this? Is he going to change that? And I'll say it now. I just think now that we've won the title, I don't know what he's got to do next year, but you know what? Just fuck it. He's done it. He's won the league. He's won the double. Let's just let the guy do what he needs to do, because at the start of the season there's going to be outgoings, incomings. I think we've got a core of a very, very good squad going into a Champions League group stage. I think we need to add probably 4 or 5 very, very good quality players. There'll be a lot of guys going out and coming in, but just buy into it. Buy into him. Buy into the squad. Buy into the backroom staff. Just buy into it all, man, because I'm so excited for the next 4 or 5 years at Ange Postecoglou Celtic Football Club, and coming on and talking piss to you because I'm banned off Twitter. I'm not going to be doing many podcasts. You'll probably see that fucking balding afro on here a lot more, but I've kind of been on a few rants, man, but I'm buzzing, man. My adrenaline's fucking through the roof, man. I'm just so happy now, man.
So, see, Gav, I just wanted to ask you a question, mate. Sorry. So, remember back to the start when we started up the podcast at the start of the season, or kind of just after the start of the season, and you actually asked me and McGinty my predictions for the season, and you asked us, and I said, I believe in my heart Celtic would win. McGinty said, I love Karamoko Dembele, and yes, Celtic would win. And then we asked yourself, and you thought, just remind the viewers what you said. And this isn't me trying to have a laugh at you, this is just kind of taking from there until now and seeing everybody's reactions, because I thought, I know, go on the Reddies, because what you said at the time, mate, I understood where you were coming from, but I think that just shows how much work's been done here and how much a fucking great effort's been put in by Ange and the team. So, batter in, buddy.
Aye, so I remember at the start of our podcast, in the infancy of the Postecoglou revolution, I said to you guys, well, who do you fancy to win the title? And obviously, as Celtic fans, you know, you could be forgiven for favouring Celtic. And for me, I just looked at it. I tried to look at it logically, and I just thought, without emotion, that with the way that Rangers were, they were in a far better position to retain the league than what Celtic were. And I favoured Rangers. Obviously, we're winning it by, what, 4 points now we're ahead. 4 points ahead of Rangers now. It's been a close season. It's been highs and lows, man. Highs and lows in our podcast as well. But back then, I called it Rangers would win it. And obviously, they won it by 25 points in the previous season. But it's a testament to show what Postecoglou's done. And I was going to ask you guys, like, what was the keys to victory, the ingredients for winning the league? And I think, for me, the one biggest decision was not get Eddie Howe. So the second man in line is Ange Postecoglou. Let's offer him the job. That's where it started from. And Postecoglou.
Paddy. Seen that trick before? Everybody must have seen the can trick, mate. Sorry to do some magic on the podcast, but here we go.
Ooh. I thought, mate, there's only one magician here, and it's
What's that, Gav?
Your dick's in that. Your dick's underneath that can, innit?
Aye, it's that wee, mate, aye. Aye. Anyway, sorry, I was just doing a magic can trick here. As I say, my adrenaline's all over the place, mate. Sorry.
Paddy, you get a lot of fanboys here.
What?
There's plenty to make around.
No, I was just saying that I think one of the main ingredients for the league win was the fact that we got Postecoglou in, and the man had a vision, and he was unwavering in that. And the fact that he had such a good relationship with the Celtic board has really paved the way for the success this season.
You're right, Stevie Kenny. Paul fucking Daniels down there. A wee baldy cunt.
Aye, shag Debbie McGee, so get it up you.
Fucking Darren McGee, you cunt. Show them your magic wand. Pew.
I think, Gav, that at the start of the season, obviously the Ange Postecoglou thing was something that was absolutely nowhere near the front of any Celtic fan's mind. This is where people disagree. I don't know who in the Celtic backroom staff, the board or the chairman, whoever it was, that went and got Ange Postecoglou after Eddie Howe and stuff. But this signing and this guy coming into our club, possibly for the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of us supporting Celtic is an absolute masterstroke. I don't see us losing. What's this? I can't keep talking, man, because Paddy keeps bagging comments up Paddy as well, so I can't slack him, man.
Mate, Red Scotland says you shag Mark McGee.
He's always talking about naked anyways, and all that.
He's on a diet though, so he's alright, he'll be looking good.
On a diet? Aye, he's fucking get the big saggy tits in.
Aye, he's fucking no heating on, know what I mean? So.
Right, fucking hell, man, this is good. Gav, and every time I come on this with you, man, it goes well off course.
You're doing magic tricks, what do you expect?
It's only McGinty that does magic tricks. He's the fucking disappearing man, isn't he?
Aye. Let me ask you, Paddy, this one. I don't know. I don't think this is a controversial question, but does a strong Rangers near enough guarantee a strong Celtic in terms of upping the competition?
I and no. I think if you look back at Celtic since the millennium, Celtic's been a reactionary club. So probably in that respect, then because we only kind of push the boat out after failure, or when it's absolutely fucking like last ditch, like Wim Jansen, we bring guy in with a big pedigree. We go all out, we sign fucking players for here, there, and everywhere. it was the same with Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill was a reaction to them. Brendan Rodgers was a reaction to them. Neil Lennon, before that, was a reaction to us. Do you know what I mean? Because of
I heard Wee Lenny's in the Burns unit in Cyprus.
Is he not got his factor fucking 1,000 on that?
I think he's in the Burns unit, mate. I think somebody walked by them the other day and thought it was a packet of tomato crisps, but it was Wee Lenny with a fucking Hey You Jimmy wig on. So he's in the Burns unit in Cyprus, mate. Somebody's just fucking some Greek yogurt at him, man. So he's all right, but he's got a Celtic cat on going like, who are you talking to? So I don't know how it is, but that's what I'm hearing.
By the way, just on an off-topic one, see if any of you guys are on holiday and you get sunstroke, buy cheap gin and rub it on yourself.
What?
It works yes, it works a trick. It works every time. Sunstroke,
Are you talking from experience?
Yes.
Right, let him roll with us, Gavin. Let him roll with us. I would like to hear this story.
There's nothing to roll, mate. I had sunstroke and I fucking rubbed gin on myself and it worked.
Are you okay?
Aye. Just because you were talking about wee baldy guys getting fucking suntans.
I wasn't talking about wee baldy guys. I take a good tan. I was talking about a ginger Northern Irishman, you fucking fat knob.
You saying fucking Crystal Maze, you prick.
Let me out.
But anyway, aye.
Is Lenny not through to a cup final in Cyprus?
Yes, he is.
No bad.
Don't know. Don't give a fuck.
Cyprus are in the final.
Don't know. Don't give a fuck. Fuck Lennon in the respect of I couldn't give a fuck about him. Doesn't matter Celtic anywhere. Nothing to do with Celtic. Big Ange is the only man in fucking question here. So yes, Gav, to answer your question, mate, I'll agree with you. Yes, because in recent times we have been reactionary to our biggest kind of rivals, which has mostly been them in their 8-year existence.
Aye, so one more game this Saturday. What is it? 12:30 kickoff against Motherwell at Parkhead.
Go past, mate, aye.
Quarter past. And then everybody's got a well-deserved fucking break. And there's no Euros, there's no World Cup this summer. So they're going to have a well-deserved break. Where are they actually having their main pre-season? I know that we're going off to Australia for a bit, for like a small tournament. Any idea where they're having their main pre-season?
Austria, isn't it? Austria,
yes. Two games confirmed, I think.
Well, our first game is against...
Sounded very fucking Graham Norton there, Patrick.
How are you talking about anyway?
Our first game is Austria up to Vienna.
It's an English team. I know that. Who the fuck is it now? Norwich.
Oh yeah, Pookie. The return of Pookie. And we had the news that we've just have we signed a left back or on the periphery of signing a left back? The guy who plays for Hammarby in the Swedish league, left back, but he's an Iranian internationalist. We spoke about it in the podcast a couple of weeks back, but at that point it was just a rumour. But now it looks as if it's almost concluded. And Paddy, whenever I kind of saw it on the WhatsApp chat like yesterday, I said another short arse defender, but you've corrected me by saying he's 5'10".
Yeah, fucking big prick, you.
That's all. So, what's your hopes for this guy? What have you seen for the magnificent YouTube clips? What can this guy offer us?
Well, I'm sure, as we've spoke about a lot, mate. We know that we're now going into next season as defending a title. We're going into next season trying to compete in the Champions League. We're not just trying to get into the Champions League, we're trying to compete now. So we're going to have to upgrade and we're going to have to build the squad up. So for me, one of the key positions is going to have to be left back. That might change if, like say, Vickers or Ajota or both, we don't get them back in permanently. But as it stands now, left back is probably the biggest position that we need to strengthen. So Mark Lawwell's in the door, as we know, the new chief head of scouting and that kind of side of the park. But this new guy, the left back, he plays for Hammarby in Sweden. He's 25, 5'10", as you say. Plays for he's Iranian, and I am fucked if I know how to pronounce his name. But I'm just going to call him Mohamed Yeha because that's the way it looks. So Big Yeha is coming out to play left back. So it's up to Greg Taylor to up his game if he wants to solidify his position or retain his position at left back, because this guy, I think, is going to come in and rival him. But what I've seen, Gav, from a magnificent platform that is YouTube, is a guy who is very, very much up the park. He likes to cut inside. No too much kind of right through the middle, but likes to come in a bit. But he gets the crosses in. He gets the cross-field passes in, and he gets the crosses in, and he likes to pop a shot off at goal as well. So he looks to be a kind of direct player, mate. So looking forward to seeing what this guy can bring to the table if he comes in, mate. But Mohamed Yeha, whatever his fucking name is.
Aye, we'll wait and see, I guess. The YouTube clips weren't many, weren't plentiful, you know. I don't know how long he's been playing in Sweden exactly, but 25 years old. We'll wait and see. But it's not something that's really getting me excited. I'm going to be honest.
Aye, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same.
Aye, so this Saturday then, Dale, you gone?
Yes, I'm, mate. Unfortunately, I need to work on Saturday night, but I'm taking the wee man to the game on Saturday, mate. Trophy day. I think this is his second or third in the last couple of years, so I'm looking forward to it, mate. Really, really looking forward to it. Can't beat Trophy day at Parkhead, mate. Fireworks.
The weather's to be good, mate, Saturday.
Aye, it has, mate, and I'll bring it up in the last Paddy and Gavin. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter and that before I get banned after a fucking rat bastard. But that's
you're not on Twitter anymore.
I'm fucking raging, mate. Fucking 9 months and nearly 2,000 followers, mate, is a good fucking gig. Know what I mean? Just for me talking piss, but. The last thing I seen before I get buried with hun grasses was obviously the Scott Brown story.
Yes.
I had kind of my views on it. That listen, I was at Scott Brown's testimonial last year. He kind of left under COVID and never get. I would say never get the send off he deserved. The Postecoglou game that all the guys were cuddling him and blah blah blah, but. I don't know what your thoughts are, Gav. There was a lot of talk about Scott Brown giving Calmac the trophy. My point of view is, I think it's Ange's season and Calmac's season, and I would love to see Bruni in the stand. He's a legend, icon, hero. He will be forever. I don't think there'll ever be another player in Scotland that has got the longevity at a club and win so many trophies as Scott Brown's done, but I think this season's maybe just a wee bit too early for him to come back and give Callum the trophy. Aye, leave it to Ange, leave it to the boys, and let them go on there, and hopefully we'll see Bruni back in some capacity. But I just don't think Saturday's the time, man. I just don't think it's the time for it.
I would agree with that. I think a couple of weeks ago I would have said that would have been a nice kind of swan song for Bruni, especially because obviously we never got to say cheerio because of COVID. As I say, a couple of weeks ago, I thought that would have been perfect for Bruni to come out with the trophy, pass on the legacy properly onto McGregor. But that's probably
as well, Paddy.
But that's probably been done behind doors. You know what I mean? But as you say, Dale, it's a new beginnings. It's a new era. So for Bruni to come back, it would probably take the shine off of McGregor and his performances this season and how integral he's been to the team on and off the park.
See if it did happen, Paddy, I would be delighted. I would love to see Scott Brown giving Callum that trophy on Saturday, but I just think that leave it to the team that is just now, and Bruni's going to be back at Paradise at some point, isn't he? He's going to be back.
Well, I'm just wondering, Gav, because obviously today it came out in the media that he's potentially going to be taking over at Fleetwood Town. So if that happens, I'm going to assume that he's unable to play them up. Aye.
Never heard that, mate.
Yeah, it's out of day, mate. So I'm assuming it'll be him and Stephen Whittaker as his assistant.
Joey Barton's out team.
Aye. So I'm probably going to assume then if he's a manager in Fleetwood, he's not going to be able to play in the Masters, which was being lined up.
Oh, aye, Brayhead.
Aye.
It's pish anyway. Don't go, man. It's fucking shite. I went to the last one at the Hydro and fell asleep. I thought that shite.
Aye, fuck's sake. Dale, that was 10 years ago, Jesus Christ.
It was fucking the one just before COVID, 2019.
There's none. It's been fucking shut down for 10 years.
No, the other one that Ferguson and Big Lee McCulloch and Simon Donnelly and that played in against England and that.
No, the Masters football.
Aye, I remember that, but I'm saying I was at one a few years ago, and aye, don't go, man, it's dog shite. Go and get.
By the way, one of the biggest contributions that Scott Brown has made this season is his Aberdeen took 4 points off Rangers, so that does not go unnoticed. So whatever he does, fair play to him, man. He's earned it, and back to the kind of his refusal to kind of be present for the league, for the trophy. Aye, if I saw him and he handed it over, I would have loved that, But whenever you take a step back and you hear his reasons for refusing, that takes a big person to do that. He would have loved to have been there, to be caught up in the emotion, but it takes a strong person to actually sit back and just say, I'll let them have their day, because he's had many, many days like that, and it's Callum McGregor's day. And as much as I'm happy for Postecoglou, I'm also happy for Calmac. He's had a roller coaster of a season.
I think it shows Scott Brown's class. I think it personifies what every Celtic fan thinks about him, that he's been offered that chance and he says, nah, mate, it's Ange and Calmac. That's Scott Brown to a fucking T. Scott Brown to a T, man.
And in terms about summing up the league, I've got a question for you. Is what was your highest point? What was your lowest point?
On you go.
Oh, fuck you, Paddy. To be honest with you, I think my highest point was the game. I gave my good friend Patrick my ticket. I definitely think my highest point was the 3-0 game. I genuinely do think it. I wasn't there. I gave Paddy my ticket, and I spoke about it for him. Delighted that he went to the game and enjoyed it, the atmosphere, and that. I think that's been my highlight so far. Was the 3-0 game at Paradise. Seeing my good mate as well in my seat enjoying himself. The low point for me probably was a couple of weeks ago at Hampden. Was the semi-final. I was there. I think most Celtic fans going to the game were so optimistic. It was probably the game that we thought that we were going to turn up for and turn them over. Looking towards winning a treble, it was so disappointing. Just performance-wise, I think it was really, really disappointing. So, 3-0 at Paradise for me was a high point, and losing that semi-final certainly was a big low point for me this year.
That's it. Paddy, for me, one of my highest points, and it was actually a game that we lost. It was away in Seville to Real Betis, and that was a game we lost 4-3.
Yeah.
But that was the game that showed me the plan that Postecoglou's got, and it can actually work. Obviously, the personnel that we had, like a Jetty playing up front in that game, I think he might have actually bagged maybe 1, maybe 2 goals. But that was the game that showed me that this guy's actually got a plan, and it can actually work against very good opposition in Europe. And Betis have had a very, very respectable season. So that was one of my high points. I guess the low point, I don't know. I'll need to come back to you on that. But anything from yourself?
I'll go with the low point first. Get it at the road, and it was the second game against Livingston, because we'd already been to Almondvale and we played terribly. We had so many crosses and we just played as flat as could be. We never changed anything. I can't actually mind the result off the top of my head, but it was either a draw or we get beat. And then the return game at Celtic Park a few weeks later, or a couple of weeks later, we played exactly the same way. We never changed anything. We never learned anything. And that was the game that Giakoumakis missed the kind of last minute penalty. So for me, it was just at a point in the season where we'd started to gain a bit of momentum and started to kind of change attitudes, and you could see what was developing. And then again, it kind of fell. It took a dip. As I say, it didn't look as if we'd learned anything from the game previous. We played exactly the same way against the defence. It was all compacted in, and we lost a big fucking 2 points at that point, I thought, in terms of the league. But as we know, it got up. High points domestically, it's a toss between two. Obviously, thanks to Dale, managed to see this one in person. It was the 3-0 game at Celtic Park. I know. You'll be treated well in heaven when you die. Don't worry. So there was a 3-0 game at Celtic Park. First time under the lights, the disco lights. When they beat the bastards in fucking well over a year. We lost the first game of the season and we fucking absolutely blew them away 3-0. So for that, just a momentous game, mate. One of the best atmospheres I've ever been at. Well,
fucking stop going on about it, man.
Mate, like the actual stadium was bouncing, you know.
Right, okay.
Right, anyway, I'll move on because that was one of the greatest games that I've ever seen and been at. But it's going to be the Ross County game, the last minute one. Sorry, the last 96-minute goal by Ralston. Mate, we were all on. It was us three. It was on the podcast, right?
That's right. Aye.
Fuck me, man. I don't think I've jumped that high in a long time. I was like Martin O'Neill in his first season. I nearly fucking hit my head off the roof. I'm going to go for the Ross County game because I think when we look back at the season, Gav, I think that's going to be such a pivotal. It's going to be one of the games. It's going to be one of the games because when you have a season and you win a season, there's always a kind of handful of games that you turn around and say that there was a turning point. That was one of the ones that set us on the road to the title.
Was that the night we were on and when Gav was fucking bottle?
Yes,
yeah.
The very one.
I would say it was a memorable night for me, but I don't remember it. I had to watch it back.
I think that was the night you kept going on about. You fucking John beating in the Bell's Hill bus and all that. That was
you're from Motherwell, aren't you? If you Bell's Hill, you're to Bell's Hill, aren't you?
Yes, that was that night. These are the podcasts you look back on when you're like 70 and your veins are fucking 20 of that. That you dick talking about, man.
I'll be like, shut up, you fucking wee dick. That's a good shout, Paddy. Ross County, yes, massive. It's just because like it was wave after wave after wave of Celtic attack, and then to see Big Ralston popping up with that winner. Was it a winner? Was it two each?
No,
a winner.
No, it was a winner. It was a winner 3-2.
It
was 2-1. Sorry, it was just incredible, and like just to touch upon him for a minute. I think even though Juranovic has come in and taken over the jersey at right back, I think when you look back at the stats and you look back at some of the goals I was watching back today was unbelievable, and the assists and everything that Tony Ralston's contributed this season. Coming for a position where guys like me and you, Dale, keep him it tight. Same as Taylor. The guy has just been fucking. He's done such a great job. He's played out his skin. Do you know what I mean? And he's done everything for that jersey. He doesn't shortcut anything. He leaves it all on the pitch. He might not be the greatest fucking technical player in the world, but you know what? He's scored us a couple of vital goals, and he's created so many vital goals for us this season. So big shout out to Victor Wilson.
What about his pass about the 10th minute of the night, cross field, right to, who was playing it left tonight?
Taylor.
In front of Taylor.
Jota.
Somebody will mention it. Tony Ralston, 10 minutes, cross field pass, bang, right to his feet.
Look at his tackle. Look at his last.
Look at he fell at his feet or something like that.
Look at his last ditch tackle in the game tonight. Do you know what I mean? But that's been unbelievable.
Did you see Joe Hart? Did you see Joe Hart celebrating? He was like, if they didn't have to, man, punching his chest. Joe Hart was fucking loving it, man.
That's been like synonymous throughout this season. We've had guys absolutely leaving everything on the pitch, like can't even fucking run at the end of the game, because that's what Big Postecoglou told us, kind of inadvertently, when we heard the mic up at the very, very start of the season. It's like, we don't fucking stop until they stop. And that's where I think it was yourself that said it earlier on, kind of talking about giving people time. When Postecoglou came in and inherited this squad and then had to bring in so many players, I think when we look back, see the points that we were kind of questioning them, that was still a pivotal moment in the squad turning and accepting Postecoglou's style for Lennon's style last season. And like, you can't just pick up a new way of working and expect to just run away with it and know exactly what you're doing. You've had to, it's like a wee jigsaw piece, and all the bits and pieces were starting to come together, but you still couldn't find the wee cogs and that. Do you know what I mean? But I think for me, when I started to see it clicking in with inferior players, was Anthony Ralston. See the first game at Celtic Park against St Johnstone, the one that Jackie Marcus scored the only goal.
Yeah.
Mate, I was sitting low down. I got a ticket for the other end of the stadium, which is very rare because I'm always fucking opposite the North Curve. But I got a ticket for the other end, and I was very, very low down. I think I was only about 4 seats up for the front or something. And I made a point of watching Ralston, because Ralston was playing at that point. And see his movement was fucking incredible. Like, when Celtic were out of possession, you could see him. He wasn't stopping, mate. He was visualising everything. He was scoping out the entire fucking pitch. He was watching for players.
Gavin's board there, he was yawning. Oh, yeah.
Remember, I've got the mute button, you fucking nudin' it. Aye, but listen, no, Ralston's just done absolutely brilliant, and it just shows players like that how Ange's brought them up to peak.
100%.
Even Taylor was slaughtered. Starfelt was slaughtered. In recent weeks and recent months, these guys have been fucking on fire, and they've been so integral to the team and our push to the title. And I know, Gav, you've always kind of championed like Starfelt and giving these guys a chance. So I mean, instead of just kind of being happy.
What do we think, whoever wants to answer first? Obviously, the last couple of weeks, and there's been a lot of chat about Julian and Stephen Wells, quite rightly, has been on the bench the last, I think, 8 or 9 squads, and Julian's not been there. I think it's been well documented. He's played in the B squad quite a lot. What do we think that Julian is going to be in the squad next year? He's going to play a part. Do you think Ange is kind of watching him in the B squad? Is easing him back into a pre-season?
Cheers, Norman.
Obviously, Carter Vickers has they signed yet, so if he does sign, Julian and Starfelt could be your starting two, with Welsh as your backup. But I just find it very, very strange that Julian's a guy that I was never his biggest fan, by the way. I thought he was a good defender, but I just find it very strange that he's been fit for so long, Gav, He came in and played that 20 minutes against Wraith Rovers, and he's disappeared. And Stephen Welsh hasn't played any minutes either. So I don't know, man. I'm struggling to see where he fits in next year.
Aye. Well, it's a good question. Like, who's going to thrive at Celtic next season, and who's going to be surplus to requirements? So I'm happy to pick up the baton for Julian, mate. Julian is, I think, 28, 29. So for a defender, you're coming into the peak years of your career. I think he's got 1 year left now on his contract. So obviously we bought him for 7 million. And whenever Celtic ship out 7 million for a player, you think they're going to be on half-decent wages. I think that he's not going to be at Parkhead next season. Celtic need to look at him as a financial asset and get him off our books. Because
29,
how can Postecoglou promise him game time next season? He's only seen him in training. And for the B team, as you said, he's not seen him properly contribute in the trenches in the proper games this season. So I think with with 1 season left on his contract, I would get him to fuck. You're going to have to make whatever money you can transfer wise. It's not going to be much. Definitely not going to make a profit of him, and he's going to be a bit of an unknown quantity to buyers. He might go back to France. He's probably got a family anyway. But he can't be happy in Scotland. He's not going to get promised first team. I would let him go. I think that would suit both the club and the player.
He seems to be happy, but I've seen a couple of interviews and I'm talking about playing in the B team and all that. And obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Cameron Carter-Vickers. But do you not think that going into obviously no qualifiers for a Champions League and stuff? Do you not think that Ange is possibly thinking, right? Starfelt and Carter-Vickers have the broke sweat this season. They've been absolutely phenomenal together. So I think that Julian's definitely got a big part to play next year. I think he goes to pre-season, makes an impact. Depending on the Carter-Vickers signing, then Carter-Vickers doesn't sign, then we're kind of back to square one with the centre back. So I don't know. I don't think we can write him off. I'm the same as you, mate. I don't think he sets the hair on fire, but it's a possibility that Carter-Vickers gets offered 50 grand a week with fucking Fulham next week and goes back to the Premiership. So Julian's a guy that I don't know why he's not been in the squad. You're maybe right, Gav. Maybe Ange doesn't see a lot in him. And that's why Stephen Welsh is in the 18 every week. But I don't know. £7 million, a lot of money to pay for a guy. Obviously, his injury was horrific, but I don't know. Julian sacrificed his career for our club. I don't know about that, but I don't know.
What? He's no fucking Jesus, man. He's like tackled into a goalpost for fuck's sake.
I was just reading the comments here when I was talking to Gav, but
No.
Nah, listen, Gav. I'm in the same boat as you, mate. I think with Julian's age and the injury, the length of time that he was out for, I don't think he's recovered anywhere near the level that Ange has brought Celtic into. So I think you've got to look on and possibly try and move more, especially when being the last year of his contract.
Who was the centre half you texted me the other night, Paddy? Sheffield United boy.
John Egan, Sheffield United. I had a wee whisper in my ear with that name. So keep your eye out for that.
Don't know a lot about him. Don't know if you do.
Big Irish laddie, good on the ball, solid. 29, so he's experienced, no young laddie. But aye, very good player for Sheffield United when originally.
What I know, and I was telling Paddy is, in Sheffield United's first season under Chris Wilder, whenever they got promoted and they did quite well, obviously they stayed up. The second season was totally different, but in the debut season for them, he played in a back three, and they had this system with the the back three centre-backs, the two wide centre-backs, they would actually go marauding up the field, almost playing like wing-backs. But it was the two wide centre-backs that would go marauding up the field, and they would try and support up the flanks and get cross balls in. A bit of a unique system. I think, obviously, they get caught out, second syndrome type thing. But for all accounts, they got a lot of plaudits. But there's one thing about excelling in a back three, but when you've got the responsibility of just you and one other guy, that's a different kettle of fish. But the guy, he's done it in England. He's an internationalist. But then again, whenever you say that, you kind of reminisce about Duffy, who didn't do very well. So sometimes it can go for you, sometimes it can go against you. You just don't know. It can be good on paper.
Well, obviously that's the whispers. But like the guy, fucking Yeehaw, that seems to be a proper goer. And I'll probably need to apologise at some point when I hear his actual fucking real pronunciation. But I think Yeehaw sounds like a great name. But you're going to be losing Beaton by the sounds of it. I think it's reasonably within scope to say that Beaton's probably going to be away for the start of the season. I think that's due to family issues. I think he wants to get back into Managerial. Then you've also
sad, man.
As mate, but he's had a good career here, and he's only really started to come back at the traps again. But that is what it is, mate. Tom Rogic's contract is up again next year as well. James Forrest. So I think Mark Lawwell and the rest of the backroom team are going to have a very, very busy summer. And I know we've still got a game left to play, but the league's wrapped up, so we can start talking about that.
I think the way Postecoglou has, Paddy, and the way he's been, and obviously Matt Law coming in and all that stuff, but I think Ange Postecoglou has got, he's listed who he goes, he's listed who he wants in, and I don't think, obviously, the 31st of December last year, you get Kyogo and, Maeda and Adaguchi and that in. Ange Postecoglou has got a list right now, before we play Motherwell, before Rangers go to Seville and fucking smash the place up, before we come back into our pre-season, Ange Postecoglou will have, these 6 guys are gone and I want these 6 in. I think it's nailed in just now. I just think that's the type of manager he is, and I've heard a lot of negative things regarding Law and jobs for the boys and all that, but I've done a wee bit of Google searching and Wikipedia and that, and the guy's CV is fucking so good, man. Really, really good. I think you need to take his dad out of the equation, to be honest with you.
That's just fucking Neanderthal thinking.
Yeah.
Linking the name Lawwell, it's a totally different boy, different job, as you say. His CV speaks for itself. But I think, as you say, mate, quite rightfully, Ange will have a list. Mark Lawwell will have a list. They'll put their contacts together and they'll go for it. The other way round is going to be
Put on Gavin Stratton's laptop, mate, will be sorted.
Mate, get me the times, will you? Gavin Stratton can use his fucking iPad now. Right?
Sorry.
I think the hardest job that they're going to have is getting guys like Ajeti off the books, Barkas off the books, Sorrow, guys like this that aren't really.
How long are their contracts left, Gav? Ajeti, Barkas, Sorrow.
They only signed last season.
It'll be another 2 years, probably.
They only signed last season.
No, 2 seasons ago.
2 years ago.
Aye, sorry, 2 seasons ago.
Likely they've got another 2 years left. So we're going to have to take a financial hit on them. The main question is, can they get other clubs who's going to match the wages that they're on right now? They're probably going to be on about 20 grand, I would imagine.
I think Ajeti and Barkas are in 15 grand a week. That's just what I'm hearing. Might be bullshit. I think ball and goalies and 12. So it's a lot of money for very, very good players we could sign. But you're right, Gav. If these guys are going to be going to clubs to want to play football or sit on a bench and get 5 times the money they're getting offered elsewhere. I know what I would do. You know what I mean? I'd just be like that, sitting next to Scott Bain like that. 15 grand a week, you'd have to. Just sitting on the bench next to Mark Law like that. Hope he doesn't get injured. That can't be fucked for him.
Job on you, cunt. No, I think they'll get. I think they're guys that will actively be looking to move on. As you say, fucking like Barkas, Ajeti, Bolingoli, who I forgot about, and Sorrow. You're talking the best part of £20 million there in transfer fees. That's unbelievable.
I think that's a push, by the way.
Scary, mate. Scary.
No,
I
know you're talking about the money coming in, but there's no way you're getting. You're not getting half of that back.
No. I don't mean that. What I'm saying is that's the kind of guys that we're having to get out, because it's 20 million worth of guys that we've brought in, and we're probably going to get fucking 4 million if you're lucky. Do you know what I mean?
I think you need to take the hit back, Gav, do you? You need to take the hit and just get rid of them.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
If you make poor financial decisions like buying fucking dross like that, and again, it wasn't under Postecoglou's reign, it was under the previous regime, we're going to have to bite the bullet. Aye. To speculate to accumulate.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying that, Gav, because if we can get some, we've used our outlay to buy the guys, right? That's in fucking seasons gone by. That's in X amount of budgets fucking years ago. That's down to Big Lowell, fucking Mark Cutley, Lee Congerton, Neil Lennon, whoever the fuck it was that bought these guys. That's history. But now we've got guys there that are an asset. Might be a smaller asset than what we brought them in for, but they're still an asset. So if we can get maybe, say, 4 million for 4 guys, plus with the money that we're getting in for Ryan Christie getting promoted with Bournemouth for the clause, so that's 2 million. Then you're talking about there's a clause with Christopher Ayer as well, which I think is about 2.5 million. So you're talking you could recoup 10 million just for no losing any important guys. Do you know what I mean? So that can be used to whatever we've got as well. So if we're going to go out and bolster the squad with quality, or bolster the first team with quality, as in like bringing in guys to push to compete for places, then we need to we don't need to steal money, but it helps obviously to have as much fucking readies as possible, and that'll account in for the contracts that we can offer as well. Because if you get 4 guys sitting there, and Barkas, we all know is terrible, but he's still technically a number in the squad. So that's like Joe Hart and goals, Bain and Barkas. That's still 3 goalies. So if Postecoglou wanted to buy another goalie, he couldn't justify having 4 numbers in that squad. Do you know what I mean? So we need to get guys like that out to fucking make the squad better. Which might sound silly, but
there's been quite a lot of chat about the Dundee United keeper coming in as well at the start of the season as well. And
Seagrist. By the way, got a crack saves tonight. Really good saves.
He's a good player. So see if we're going into a Champions League group next year. I probably asked you this question before, and I think there's going to be a big turnaround in the squad at the start of the season with the players we've just mentioned. But I think Ange as a manager, he'll be loyal to a certain extent, but he'll also know getting into a Champions League group with the possibility of playing Chelsea's and Real Madrid's and fucking Barcelona's and all that. I think everybody knows where we need to strengthen. Like, for me personally, a left back, and also it massively depends on Carter Vickers and Jota signing. But in your 2 opinions, other than the players we've just spoke about going out, who do we need to get in? And as you said, Paddy, we need guys to come in and compete with the players that are there already. But is there guys in that squad just now that we need to replace? Do we need to bring in a left back to replace Taylor to sit on the bench? Do we need to bring in somebody to replace Rogic and O'Reilly to sit in that number 8? Where do we need to strengthen to have a... at least a good shot at a Champions League group and no be embarrassed like the Brendan Rodgers Bayern Munich PSG season.
Can I say one thing? You're talking about strengthening and not being embarrassed. One key feature in our play is playing out for the back, and obviously whenever we get pressed, sometimes we can do it well, sometimes we'll look fucking horrible and we end up like conceding throw-ins very near our goal, such as the last game at Parkhead when Hart scored a goal. That was us failing when we get pressed. We conceded a throw-in and it led to a goal. That's a key component of our gameplay. And Ange, you know that he's going to persist with it. He's going to persevere. We need to get more slick with that. I don't know if the personnel we've got right now is capable of it. Obviously, they get better. If you do it more and more and more, training drills, you're going to get better at it. But is that alone, repetition of that, going to be good enough for us to do that in the Champions League? Or do we need better personnel in defence? They're better, more comfortable with the ball at their feet. I'm not too sure about that. But Ange is not going to sacrifice that style of play. So I'm wondering, are we going to get made a fool of in the Champions League by doing that?
Brendan Rodgers done it, Gav. I think if you look back to Rodgers, and I was at the Paris game at home, I was at Bayern Munich, I was at Paris away as well, and Brendan Rodgers was very kind of stubborn in the way he wanted to play football. And I just think that if you're a progressive manager and you're looking to make a wee impact in Europe, then you need to be progressive tactically as well to change the way you play football. I think it showed in the Betis and the Leverkusen game, and I don't think Ange had the squad at the time to be capable to change it.
Yeah.
But you also look at the most recent games with Real Madrid and Man City, and Guardiola and that don't change it, albeit they've got absolutely world-class players. But I think next year, and this is only my opinion, going into these Champions League games, if we get teams that are obviously going to be a hell of a lot stronger just because of money and the squad players that they have. But I would like to think going into a Champions League game that if you're one up against a Benfica or a Barcelona, then you go 3-5-2. But I totally agree with you, Gav. I don't think Ange does it. And that's the worry, Paddy, that you could get a half-decent Champions League group next year. You've got Carter Vickers, you've got Starfelt, you've got Taylor, you've got Juranovic, you're winning 2-0 against Benfica, you're under the cosh for maybe 70 minutes, and us as fans are sitting watching the game thinking, stick our defender on, man, and see this game out. I don't think he does it. But I think that's where a Julien or another defender that we signed comes in. That Martin Neal done it. They played well and we were up and he changed the formation. But I'm with you, Gav. I think the Champions League next year is an absolute roller coaster. It's going to be 2 each, 3 each, 5-4. Fucking, I think it's going to be mental at Paradise next year. But Ange Ball's going to keep rolling, mate, and the formation's fucking no changing, no matter what. And I think if you go back to one of your first podcasts in fucking 2020, I'm like, what is the plan B? There's none, man. There's no plan B.
Who do you want to get? Do you want to get Real Madrid? That's one of the teams we've not faced.
Mate, my first Champions League game was my first European game. I think was 1980, whatever. Can't remember. I was at the Juve games. I was at the AC Milan games, Benfica, Porto, Barcelona, Juventus. So luckily, by the way, that people are watching, I'm no fucking blowing me in trumpet. Seeing like Ronaldinho, Zidane, Ronaldo, Messi, Iniesta, Xavi. I've seen all these guys in the flesh, but never seen Real Madrid at Parkhead. Never seen them, man. maybe Chelsea just to punch a couple of Nazis, man. But Chelsea and Real Madrid. I'd love to see Benzema in the flesh. I'd love to see Benzema. No naked, just playing football.
I would take PSG and Barca. Barca nowadays are a different breed from the Barca of old. Benfica, we had a message for Woodsy there.
Aye, Pots are bad, man. So, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and I don't know who else, man. I don't know. Real Madrid and Chelsea, I'd take you to start with.
Liverpool would be fun. We'd still get fucked, but it'd be fun. By the way, how did the games go? How did Leeds got on today?
Fucking pumped Chelsea, man, which is a great result for us. Delighted. So Leeds get beat off Chelsea 3-0, mate. So we're kind of looking safe to a certain extent. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but nah, probably not, man. So
by the way, for anybody wondering, Dale's a fucking Everton supporter, no? Toffee bastard.
Yeah, and it's not because I choose an English side. It's because my family are Scousers as well. So, So Chelsea.
By the way, an interesting one there. Man City beat Wolves 5-1, and De Bruyne scored 4 goals.
Yes, mate. I bet if he scores 4, mate, I won 500 grand. If you want any red stripe or a pack of fags, mate, I'll drop them off. Good result tonight for the Toffees, man. It's looking like we're going to stay up, Gav. It's looking like we're going to stay up, mate. We've got Brentford and Crystal Palace at home in our next 2 games. So I think one victory does it, mate. If it goes to the last game of the season, we play Arsenal away, which I'm going to. So
Aye.
Didn't I?
I just don't trust Everton with recruitment. They spend a shitload of money, and I don't know how they squander it. But Celtic for me and Celtic reserves.
I think in the last 5 years we've spent more money than any top flight Premiership team in England. I'm sure. Fucking ridiculous, mate. Ridiculous, man. That's what happens when you bring in foreign owners. Know what I mean? Back to Celtic. Sorry, boys.
True. Okay, Paddy, tell me one Celtic player, one current Celtic player who you think is going to have a big season next year, and one player who is going to be cut. Maybe not an obvious person like a McCarthy. Someone who's not going to make the grade, and one person who's really going to have a big season.
A big season. Excuse me. Big season.
Fucking next door neighbour.
Yeah, it's like a big season. A big fucking yawn.
Fucking man.
Big streamer, for fuck's sake. Watchers, Wayne's watching us. Come on now. If there is Wayne's watching us, get to your fucking bed. It's all my hope.
No.
Big season. I'm actually going to say Giakoumakis. I think Giakoumakis is going to hit 20 goals at least next season. I think he's going to be such a big player. Stephen Kelly, will you run about naked when Leipzig beat that scummy lot? I will, mate. I will.
Anyways, Frankfurt.
I'll let you see my hot dog if you want. Giakoumakis for a big season next season. And what was the other one, Gav, who's going to make the grades up?
Yes.
This might be kind of fucking controversial, right? I don't think I can put it into the category of not making the grade, but I don't think Kyogo will be as good next season.
Oh, interesting, mate. Very interesting.
Hell, man. Is that fucking asbestos in your roof fucking fuck me your brain?
No, mate, it's that big semen.
Paddy, we're losing subscribers right now.
No, I'm just, mate, listen, I don't mean as big a season. I don't think he'll score as many goals because I think Giakoumakis is going to be, I think Giakoumakis is going to end up as the central striker, and I think Kyogo is going to be, shifted to accommodate that. So I don't think Kyogo will get on the score sheet as many goals as he scored this season.
Valid point. Sure.
Aye, interesting. I would hope that Juranovic is going to have a brilliant season. Like, a lot of people are backing him to be like he's worth 25 million and all that. For me, I'm not at that stage yet. Juranovic has got qualities. I'm hoping he's going to have a big season, and then we'll find out exactly how good he is. So that's more hope than thought. And this might be a controversial one. I don't know how effective Starfelt is going to be next season. And I've been backing him this season. I just think Celtic have to progress. And I'm talking about us getting slicker, passing it out from the back. I don't know really if he's got the ability to, what is it, 25, 26, something, 24, 25, 26, roughly that.
25, 26.
I don't know if he has the technical capabilities. He's good enough physically as being just a defender, but don't know if he's got the technical capabilities of carrying on Ange's plan and getting better at it. I don't know if he's going to do Ange's plan justice. So that's the one person I don't think will have a great impact next season, and that's controversial.
No, I just seen there that Hart is the weakest link. Fucking wow. Anyway, I think Matt O'Reilly's going to be a massive player for us next year.
Cheers, John.
Thanks.
Just tell it where it is. Fucking right, John. Going to ask Axom and bottle your telephone voice. I think Matt O'Reilly will be a fantastic player for us next year. Fuck
Oh, do you know?
Aye, so I'm going to say Matt O'Reilly. I think Matt O'Reilly comes into his own next year. I think watching the guy this year in small spells and strange love doctor, man. You've put strange things in your brain. Love doctor.
So it says Hart is the weak link, and then he's also added, argue me.
Come at me.
Fucking money in your baldy bastard.
He's been one of the best signings of the season, man. He's been fucking superb. But I think Matt O'Reilly next year steps up to the plate. Depending on the incomings, obviously Rogic. I think Calmack's an absolute stalwart next year. He does what he does. I don't know if he's going to play the 6 or the 8 role, if we bring in this defensive midfielder, which I think we're crying out for. If you look at the last 2 derby games, I think we need that Bruni in there for a wee bit of dig in the middle of the park. But Matt O'Reilly, for me, next year steps up. I think he's going to be massive. This is possibly a wee bit controversial as well, and I think Abada might drift away next year. And I love him. I think he's been fucking phenomenal. His assists and his goals, but obviously played the night. But the way Ange has set his team up this year, it's always looked Maeda, Jota, Giakoumakis, or it's been Maeda, Jota, Kyogo. So I think he plays a part, but maybe a wee bit less limited. But he's 19 years of age. I think he's probably going to be there for the next 5 or 6 years and make an impact future-wise. But I don't think he'll play as much next year. But that's my shout, Gav, for next year. Matt O'Reilly will be an absolute baller next year for us. A baller, man.
Good shouts, good shouts. Guys, by the way, to the viewers, thank you very, very much for tuning in. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. A momentous night for Celtic. Ange has won the fucking league for Celtic. Mate, it can't get any better. Can't get any better. And roll on this Saturday. This Saturday is going to be the title party.
It can be, and I was just going to ask you there, talking about the title party. Here's a question for you. Do you think Snoop Dogg will appear in the Gallagher?
I've already spoke to him, mate.
You won't be speaking to him on Twitter anymore. But
no, here, we'll talk about it on the next episode.
Suspended.
Need to get that joke. No, need to get that joke.
I did, mate. Fucking grass and hun bastards, man. Fucking raging. Oh, sorry.
It was a great dad joke. Excellent.
It was a good dad joke, aye. Paddy, what I was going to say to you was, how did I get home at 3 o'clock on Saturday and you get home at 1?
Defies the laws of physics.
I don't know, mate. Cost me 60 quid in a taxi, but there we go. What a night. Big shout out to Malone's, Paul Lambert, Alan Thompson and Mr. Liam McGrandles. What a fucking night that was at Malone's, wasn't it?
And we Andy.
Who's Andy?
Walks behind the bar.
Fucking not a clue who you are, Andy, but thanks very much for being Andy. Well done, Andy. Crying guy.
Right, well, again, the viewers, if you want a good night out, head out with Dale and fucking Paddy. They'll be doing it on Saturday after the game. So, Motherwell, Celtic and Motherwell this Saturday, title party, we'll be doing another episode for the title celebrations. It'll be fucking brilliant, magic, looking forward to it. And Dale, I hope you get back onto Twitter whenever fucking that takeover happens with that guy. So, aye, best luck, mate.
Aye, fuck them, man.
Got it.
I'm fucking ever so.
As soon as I find out who it was, I'm going to break into the Lord's house and fucking piss in their homemade soup.
Guys, hold on. I'll be back in a wee second. Aye, mate. I think he's found out it was me that grassed him in. Aye, just wanted to go to the Sorry about that, mate. I just got a quick phone call. I'll answer it.
Aye, as Charlie Mulgrew would say, raging. He's fucking raging.
Raging, isn't he?
I really am, man, because I've had loads of Facebook accounts and all that, and you get banned off for just being a dick. I'm like, nah, who gives a fuck? But I've only been on Twitter for like 7 months, and I've got like 2,000 followers, man, and my Twitter spaces now have gone great. And fucking, I'm not really gutted about it, man, to be honest with you. And I've not really wrote anything that bad, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
You've probably sent a photo of your Bobby up mad with it or something.
Well, where they got to fucking stick me in for? Fucking maggot fest.
Aye.
Right. Anyway, Dale, it's been a pleasure having you on. No seeing you in a bit, and I hope your training is going well for your marathon down to Carlisle.
Absolutely not, mate. Well, what I've done is I've hit the 300 quid mark. So,
by the way, I'm just going to stick your link up, mate, because I've got it right here.
Oh, you're a fucking legend, mate. Thank you.
There it is.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
He's going to have a wee pause, a wee look back at it. There's a link there at the bottom.
Screenshotting it. Obviously, I've been pushing this on my Twitter, but I've not got any more. So, so I put it up a few weeks ago. I just kind of put 500 quid. For anybody that doesn't know, on here I'm walking from Wishaw to Carlisle, 90 miles, and I'll be donating all the proceeds to the local food banks. I try to one a year, just do something that fucking makes me feel uncomfortable. Like Paddy seen it last year with fluorescent lycra on, man, walking 30 miles from Parkhead to Marbat. So
No a great sight, by the way.
it wasn't, mate. It wasn't, man, my wee tiny balls, but I never push it massively and ask folk give me money and all that push. If you've got £1 or £100 you want to donate, batter in. If you've no, fine, but share it for me. I just try to hang a wee once a year for a charity, and that's just what I do. So the training's gone terrible, Gav. Terrible. As in I've not done any. So I think I'll just get to August, mate, and go, fuck it, I'm going to walk to Carlisle then, and that's it.
Mate, wait today is wake up in the morning of your run or your walk or whatever and just pretend that you're fucking Dyson Mider and just run like fuck.
Aye.
You'll probably collapse after about 30 seconds. It'll be the best 30 seconds of your life other than whatever happens behind.
That's what she said earlier.
What
I'm going to do is just get one of the wee scooter things and just go dead slow all the way. Because I'm obviously when I do my running stuff and that, I put it online so folk know I'm no fucking bamming them up for money. So I'm just going to get one of the wee scooter things and go dead slow for a day. Take a while. I mean, I'll just need Elon Musk to get a few more fucking charging points and ride into Carlisle and be jamming.
You still not have any Twitter though, you cunt.
Right, you really need to stop saying that, man. So I'm really, really unhappy about it. So,
hashtag Dela's not happy.
Anybody that's on here that has Twitter that has got me in Facebook then please let me know how I can do stuff, because I'm fucking devastated about it.
Aye, and anybody who did follow Dale on Twitter beforehand, you can just follow us instead now.
Aye. So, 1,913 people that follow me on Twitter, just follow Paddy and that.
Aye, we might throw Dale a bone here and there, like a wee comment.
Aye, fucking so unhappy, man.
Raging.
Raging, isn't he?
Fucking get up, man.
Right, boys, let's wrap up.
Aye, God bless. God bless.
God bless Celtic, God bless Big Ange, and God bless the fucking Twitter.
And Sinn Féin too.
Ange, how could we forget? By the way, everybody tuning in, thank you very much. And we will see you on Saturday, eh, Gav?
That's it, mate. That's it.
Hell fucking hell.
Fuck you, grass and bastards and all.
Catches.
Twitter!